Hey, welcome back to the Passive Buddies podcast. And today we are going to cover one of my favorite topics in the whole of the online space. And it is one I ignored for years at my peril. Today we've got, obviously, as usual, Brandon Duff, our co-host here, to absolutely help show you the way, show you the power of passive income through an email list. Let's go.
Let's do this, man. I know that this is a huge topic of yours that you discuss quite often, but why should people have an email list? Email's dead. I thought like it's kind of like it's like getting an email or a piece of mail from the post office. Isn't it kind of a dead topic, or are you actually making money from your email list?
Me and my clients, yeah. And no matter who I talk to, if they build up the right type of email list, no matter what their social followings are, they make more on an email list, more than anything else. And I always refer back to one of my, we won't mind me saying, but one of my favorite clients, he's got like 100,000 followers on TikTok, 23,000 followers on Instagram, an email list of 2,500. And every time we do a promo, which is usually at the end of the month, we run a promo and his email list outperforms every single one, every time. And I mean like 10K, 20K off the same email list. Like it's just ridiculous in terms of what happens and why the emails are so crazy. Like people say, oh yeah, but you just subscribe and then you get battered by a load of emails. And you get back, like my emails are full of people sending me emails, and there's only a certain amount of few people that I'll click and open on, but that's because obviously they've built a rapport with me, and so there's still people that I'll click on as an email. Yet the open rates are like, if you get it right, about 20%. So no matter what your email list is, like it's 20% open rate. But once you've got them to open, like that's where the magic begins, and that's where you can get those sales. That's where you can get massive return on investment. Like to me, like where would you rather put like your list? In your Facebook group where you got shut down a couple of weeks ago and couldn't message anybody, or an email list that you can send an email to every single day if you wanted to?
Yeah, I mean, and with Facebook, I mean, you're really kind of fighting the algorithms, because I mean, a lot of your people might not see that amazing post you made versus an email. At least you know it's going through. You might be fighting with maybe 1 or 5 different emails, depending on how, I don't have that many emails. I kind of reduce all the spam, but most of the time you're fighting, like on Facebook or Instagram or a lot of these social media, YouTube, you're fighting with the next person that puts their post down, because when they put their post down, it's the next highest, or if it's getting more engagement than yours, people are not going to see your post. Plus they're inundated with ads and other posts and distractions on their phone and all these different things, versus an email. It's just in their inbox waiting for them.
Yeah, because it doesn't go away, does it? Like, obviously, and people are sending less emails, and I think that the beauty about email is like you have the ability to connect with them so much more deeper, like than the social. Because when they open that email, like they will read it. Like if they've opened it, they will read that email to a certain point. Whereas obviously on Facebook, you've got to flashbang with the attention. You've got to grab them. You've got to hook them. You've got to try and keep them before. It's just so much easier to scroll. Now, if you think about the energy that it takes, obviously, just to scroll or to, scroll back up from where you were reading, click back, and then go and click something else. There's more time and energy and effort. So people are like, once they're on it, they'll go, right, okay, fine. Whereas because it's an easier exit on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, like it's harder to keep that length. But if you can get those people in your email list, like an email list and obviously like YouTube, they're huge things, because the micro commitments that are involved by reading an email or watching a YouTube video are 10 times stronger than just liking a post on Instagram or just liking a post on TikTok. And I think that is why, like, if we go for that client that actually I'm talking about, the 100K on TikTok, the 23K on Instagram, and the 2,500 on his email list. The reason his email list do so well is because of the energy they put in to reading those emails. Yes, it goes to less people, but it goes to more targeted people.
Right.
So at that point, it's absolutely crazy, because like just putting a like on Instagram like isn't hard. You can double tap and you can swipe, double tap and swipe. Like, and obviously with all the different bots and stuff, like you can get likes by loads of different people, you can get followed by loads of different blag accounts. Same with TikTok. With your emails, you can fish those blag accounts out quite quickly. You get rid of them, and the people who read them are the people who are really interested in you. And then from there, you can take that interest, solve a problem, and sell something.
Well, and you have to think of the psychology behind it too, because I watch my wife and she's on stories and all she does is just swipe. And that becomes a behavior, a learned behavior where you're just constantly swiping just because. Versus an email, you're actually sitting down to read an email. And that's the actual behavior that you've learned. It's like reading a letter. It's you sit down or stand up, whatever you're doing, but you actually read the email. Versus on social media, we're kind of trained to like this post or swipe left or swipe right or whatever that is, with actually focus. On YouTube, I actually watch a lot of these longer videos because I'm used to watching videos. But I think on social, like you said, it is a flashbang approach. If you don't have something that's going to grab someone's attention, then they're going to just keep swiping and swiping until they find something that is going to interest them. Versus having an email, you already have your targeted audience already there waiting for that next email.
And what I found like it's worked quite nicely. Like even if you like, we talked about how Facebook suppresses your post like so quickly in the algorithm that like you spend that much time using it or like writing it, then obviously it just dies pretty quick. Now, what I've seen people do, which is really, really good, is they've took that post on that Facebook, obviously, and they've sent that post in a written format in their email list. So more people are getting the exact same thing that they can actually read. So if they've missed it on Facebook, they can catch it on an email. Like, and for instance, like you're a little bit older than me, so you'll remember MySpace a lot more than what I did. Like, and the people who built MySpace followings, obviously they would have been huge at that time. Like, but if they didn't move or like pivot to a new platform or like all that hard work that they built up on MySpace, when that got shut down and that went, it was like, fuck, what do we do? Like when the price of like cost per click goes up, people can lose businesses overnight through the prices of ads. Like if you build an email list, nobody can touch it from you as long as they stay there, like, and they don't unsubscribe. And it's okay if people do unsubscribe. I know people have got this big failures, like especially like when we were in the agency and the services world, that, oh my God, we've lost so many people on our list. Yeah, that's fine because they're no longer interested. We don't want them.
Right.
Like if they go to, because some companies make it bloody difficult to unsubscribe, don't they? Like you go to the email, you cannot find that button. So if they go to that difficulty to do that, they are clearly not interested. We do not want them on that list anymore.
Right.
So building up that list of people, like it's not going to cost you any more money to market to them anymore. Like you're not going to get that list taken away from you. Like that list is yours. And you can do obviously what the hell you want with it, but it allows you to build that deep connection, that deep rapport. So when you do put an offer out, it flies. Whereas obviously you build rapport, but you build like a more standoffish rapport on those social platforms. That makes it like, yeah, you get tons of likes, but it's like, oh yeah, you've liked me post, fantastic. Do you want to buy from? Nah. Well, why? It's just like I feel like there's a bigger gap in terms of the connection between the social person and the like whoever's like reading it, compared to when you're on an email where although it's a mass emails going out to loads of people. If you take the time to read that builds up that strong connection, and that's why YouTube does so well. Because if you sit there and watch his videos for so long, like that connection is being built, even though that's a video for mass people. Like it's you who needs to build a connection with them that allows you to then buy. And I feel like YouTube and email massively do that compared to any other.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I think you just glanced on it. I think it should be kind of more talked about is you should take that email. And I was just thinking about this previously because I had some great posts that probably got some good engagement, but people on my email list probably never saw that post. And if I can take that amazing post that did really, really well or didn't do really well, but would provide value to my email list, then I should email that to them. And I'm actually going to do that today, because I remember having one of these, this great post that I talked about, like my journey from being a personal trainer to being retired, semi-retired at 33, when I posted it, and it did really, really well. And I mean, a lot of people can learn from that. And if I send that to my email list, that's just going to, one, build more credibility. It's going to build more trust. It's going to give some good insight to kind of my mindset on how I did things. And all those people are going to see that if they open it, versus having some algorithm decide on if that content is good enough for them, like them, because they decide on, Facebook decide, or Instagram or TikTok decides on if that content is good enough for your audience versus your email. They've already kind of made that micro commitment to you that they want to see more of what you have. And so if you can give them amazing value, and I think that's one thing that I think a lot of people don't do, is provide so much value to their audience, thinking that they're going to give away the farm when they could just actually email and charge higher prices. And kind of what Hermosi does, I think that's how you say his name, where he sold all of his businesses in a sense, and all he does is acquisitions. And he just provides massive value, and he can charge a much higher price point. And that's who his target audience is people that are making $4 to $10 million, I think. And so if you can just provide massive value, you can make, and if you haven't listened to our podcast about how you can make money in this economy, definitely check that podcast out. I think it's very valuable. But I mean, if you can just provide value through an email list, you're not ever having to fight the algorithm. It's just building that email list.
I think that's a crucial point, and probably you want to start talking about numbers, don't you? Like, obviously, how much money can you make from an email list? Now, because obviously, if you're given that value, and that's what we do, like for that client, and obviously for me, we provide value for most of the month, and then we'll have like a sale period of like 4 days, because we've give so much without asking for anything in return over the course of the month. When it's time to ask, when it's time to go, hey. Like that reciprocation process massively kicks in. That amount of value that I give that person, that rapport that you've built with that person, like comes into play all the time. And it's absolutely beautiful to see. Now, for example, like the client that I'm talking about who's got like 2,500 and makes 10K off his email list, just his email list each month. Like that's what, a 4x return?
Yeah.
A 4x return on.
Well, I mean, it's not even a 4, it's like exponential, because every month he's making that. And it's not like he's paying to grow his email list. He's maybe in time, but the return on that investment is insane, like thousands of %, because he's putting zero money in. He's sending an email. And if you subscribe to the podcast, you should definitely listen to an upcoming email podcast where we talk about how AI is just killing it for emails. And you can literally take a couple minutes to write an email and make tens of thousands of dollars where it really didn't cost you a thing.
So yeah, and it's absolutely crazy. So like the email, once you've got that email, like, and obviously as long as they stay on, like that guy, so he's got 2,500 subscribers on his email list, makes 10K a month on emails alone. And they say, like, don't they, a low average is $1 per month per subscriber. So if you've got like 1,000 people on that list, it's $1,000 a month that you should be able to make. Like, obviously, as you can see, you can do more than that, and it's more than comfortable to do that. Like, we're making obviously like $4 per user.
Yeah.
So we're making $4 per user on that client's email list. So like a low average, you should be at least making $1 per user. Like, imagine if you turn that to $3, that $1,000 turns into $3,000 with no extra work, just more nurturing of that email list, putting more effort into that email list with no extra money put in. Right, so you can turn that from 1,000 to 3,000. If you go and get $5 per, you've turned that into $5,000 just with that $1,000 email list. And that is how you turn things passive, by
Well, not only
having
that,
that ability.
if you're able to say you're like running ads and you're able to acquire a email subscriber for $1 and you're getting $4 or $5 out, you literally have a cash flow machine right there where you're literally printing money. And I think that's the power of email, is you're literally able to print money. I mean, I remember growing up, my mom and dad would say, money just doesn't grow on trees, but it does. Like, it literally, you can email like your email list, and the next minute or the next day have hundreds or thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars instantly.
And money doesn't grow on trees. What's money made out of? Paper. What do trees make? Paper. Well, but like, and even then, like, to the point of like making it truly, truly passive. The one thing we've got set up is obviously like we've got different automated sequences. So no matter what they opt into, they go through a 5-day sequence that is pushing one thing. Then from there, they move into our affiliate general sequence. Now, there's over 30 emails in that automated sequence where they watch a YouTube video, then they get presented with an offer. They can watch a YouTube video, and it just goes in that sequence. And literally, I'm waking up each morning to like Stripe payment. Hey, this person signed up to this Slack notification. This person's bought passive buddies. And it's like, all because we've turned it so passive by creating that sequence, by giving that value, by sending people to those YouTube videos, to those free trainings, and then sending them to an offer that probably could help them grow their online business. But that's all automated. Like, we've written those emails once and we just move them into that sequence. So like amazing. every time we drop an email, like the standard like daily campaign, every time we drop a YouTube one, we pick it up, we move it, and we put it into the sequence. So the new people that come through the sequence haven't yet seen that email, but they will. So not only are we repurposing our emails into a sequence, we're then allowing to give more value, we're turning it more passive, and then obviously giving more and getting more sales on the back end as well.
Love it. That is literally a cash flowing machine right there. And it's working in bad times and it's even working in good times. So I think that's amazing that people need to start learning about and learn how to actually monetize their failures, their email lists, and just everything. I mean, you can literally monetize whatever you need to be able to make we don't like the word side hustle, but a real online business. And in doing so, you're able to really secure your future and your family's future for forever, in a sense.
Exactly. And then the only thing you need to think about, which you can pay people to do, depending on how well your online business do, is lead generation.
Yep.
And if you can get to the point where you can outsource your lead generation and it's making you an ROI, you're done. Absolutely, you're done. It's game over, and it's enjoy that beach through email marketing in a passive style.
I love it.
Final thoughts?
Yes. Man, I think my biggest takeaway is what you said at the very beginning, is being able to take your posts and repurpose them for your emails. And you said that, and I kind of been thinking about it, but once you said that, it was just like, it put it into perspective. Like, I could literally just repurpose content that I have that did really well on Facebook, and I can email and provide value to my email list, pretty much the same exact thing, not much extra time or work, and be able to make more money. And I think that's a huge, if you don't take anything from this, that was my biggest takeaway. And I think that if people can take one thing away from this episode, I think that would be just amazing value right there, because it's an actionable thing that people can do today and make money through their email list if they feel that one of their posts just didn't get the attention that it should have got, and use that to actually make more money. And I think that was just a huge thing for me. So I appreciate that.
No, thank you so much. I'm glad obviously, and like a real right, let's do this, let's take it. And it's the exact same with your YouTube, isn't it? And once you've done your YouTube video, why the hell aren't you sending an email to drive more people to your YouTube video, or taking that YouTube video, creating a blog, even if it's an AI blog, which we'll talk about in the next episode, so it speeds it up, embed in the YouTube video, put a blog post on together, and like maximize the content you actually use, because that's the stuff that's going to make your life 10 times easier. Taking that video and turning it into like a blog, turning it into an email that drives people to the YouTube video, like taking your Facebook post, putting it into an email, and just repurposing everything you're doing. Because if you look at, for instance, if you look at Russell Brunson and the way like he says the same messages all the goddamn time, like he's talking about the same pillars, the same points, like it's just repackaged in a different way. So take those things that you are talking about that are good quality pieces of content, go put them into your email list, go put them into a sequence, an automated sequence, so people who are new to your list get to see those things. Okay, don't let it die, like, because there's so many times, like for instance, that Facebook post, one of my Facebook posts that's done really well, goes into an email, then goes into that sequence. Like no matter, as long as I keep putting people through that sequence, that piece of content never dies, because people will constantly see it. So having that ability to like keep your content alive through your email list, which reduces the time that you actually have to do on marketing, which makes it more passive, golden.
Yeah, huge. That was a great episode, Bryan. I can't. I think that's how we're going to close, man. That was great.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching today's episode. Hope you found some great value from it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Peace.